Good morning. This is Samundishwari from the Department of English. In this case study video, we are going to see the topic usage of active and passive voice and its difficulties. Difficulties faced by the people when they are writing or else when they are speaking the voice in a context. So, first of all, what is called as voice? So, voice is a term which denote the form of a verb. The verb which shows the function of the subject, whether it is a performer of an action or else it receives any action. So this voice can be divided into two form. One is active voice, another one is passive voice. In active voice, the subject is the performer of an action, whereas in passive voice, subject is the receiver of an action. So while changing a sentence from active voice to passive voice, we have to follow certain rules. If we are thorough with the rules, then that answer brought down the answer will be very easy. So what are all the difficulties are faced by the people when they are applying these kind of a voice in their converse or else in a written context? I just list out few issues which is faced by the people. The first one is over influence of tenses, and the second one is changing from present to past without applying rules, and third one is confusion with the verb forms. Verb forms in the sense that is if I want to use a verb go, in the sense I have to use a past tense of went, and past participle form is gone. Similarly, I have given choose, the past tense is chose and chosen. But when people are using this particular word in their context, they used to write it as a make mistake in a form of choose, choosed. There is no form like that. So while usage of verb form also, students used to commit mistakes. Another one is lack of awareness about grammar rules. So for every topics, actually one thing I want to point out here, certain topics can be prepared by us one time, such as these are all the topics are nowadays frequently asked in competitive type of examination. Whereas certain topics we have to prepare regularly, topics such as improving your vocabulary, idioms, phrasal verb, and one word substitute. These are all the topics to be updated by us as in our day to day routine basis, or else we are not supposed to be we don't have a sufficient knowledge on this particular area. Whereas these are all the grammar topics, especially applying rules based topics. Once you learn the rules, that will be helpful you to short down the problem in an easy way. So and the last one is all about lack of practice. So thing is that a student must know the rules. Similarly, he has to practice it to understand it clearly. Okay, so I just highlight the points again. So the problems faced by the users of voice in a written context as well as a conversation part. The very first thing is that influence of tenses. Why I am mentioning influence of tenses in the sense, so the if I am giving a sentence, just imagine that I have given a sentence, the professor is teaching the students. Okay, the professor is teaching the student. So the moment once I see the question, people used to write the professor was teaching, or else the professor had taught, something like that. They are come up with their own kind of explanation, whereas you should apply the rules first of all. So what are all the rules to be followed when you are solving active to passive, similarly passive to active type of a sentence? Okay, so that influence of tenses predominantly make us to work changing a sentence from one form to another form without the proper knowledge of grammar. And another thing is that confusion of using the verb forms. And that last we have seen a lack of practice and lack of knowledge in grammar rules. Okay, so here next I am going to show you what are all the rules must be followed. Even you can take this as a simple trick for solving a sentence from active to passive. Undoubtedly, this trick will be help you to work out any kind of a difficult sentence. You can try by applying these rules while writing few examples in your notebook. First, let me explain the rules part, and afterwards I give you few sentences, and also I show you what are all the possible answers people have written in their paper. Okay, so rules to be followed when converting the active voice to passive voice. The very first one is a demarcation of a sentence. So demarcation is nothing but dividing the sentence into SVO pattern. So SVO pattern helps us to know the verb form of a sentence. So our second rule is that identify the types of a tense form. So this identification is the most important element when you are writing answer for active to passive and similar for passive to active. And another important thing is that do not change the tense form of a given sentence. And this is the very important rule also. Most of the students used to make mistake in this portion. After identification, they start changing the given sentence into any other form, whereas you are not supposed to change the tense form of a sentence. Just write down the sentence in your notebook now. Nehru wrote the discovery of India. In this sentence, we are supposed to demarcate it. So, while demarcating, Nehru is a subject, wrote is a verb, and discovery of India is considered as an object part. Okay. And second one is identify the types of a tense form. So, here my verb is wrote, which is in a form of past tense. And what is our third rule? Do not change the tense of a sentence. In the sense of, you are not supposed to changing whether if a sentence is in a form of past tense active voice, in the sense we are giving our equivalent mere equivalent answer of passive past. We are not giving our answer into any other equivalent form. Okay, so this I repeat again. Once you identify the tense form of a sentence which is in active voice mode, whereas we are giving a mere equivalent. If it is in active past, in the sense you are bringing your answer in a form of passive past. So do not change the tense of your sentence. And what is our third rule? Change the subject into object. So what does it mean? So now the object portion must come to the place of first. The discovery of India, and use helping verb. Whenever you are placing the helping verb, based on the subject alone, you have to place it. Okay, so this here also that identification of tense form of a sentence will help you. So the discovery of India, the sentence is already in a form of past tense. We are not going to change that case again. So the discovery of India, we are talking about a singular only. So the discovery of India was, that verb wrote change into the form of past participle. That is our next rule point. Use past participle form of a given verb. So the discovery of India was written, and who is the subject here? Obviously Nehru. So the discovery of India was written, and you have to use the prepositional by here, and afterwards you can use change the subject into the object place. So what like now your answer will be in a form of, the discovery of India was written by Nehru. Okay, so similarly apply the rules to get an answer. So these are all the rules can be learned one time, but you can get benefited as many times possible whenever you are writing, or else whenever you are facing a placement interviews, or else you are appearing for a competitive type of examination. So what is the actual usage of this active and passive voice in the sense while making a report, and also in your reporting something to someone else there and all, you can use this active and passive voice. So we'll see you in the next video with some other topic. Thank you.